Hey guys, welcome to the first podcast of 2013. Today we have Matt Carlucci and Keith Wilson of Buffalo Soupfest. They came down, talked about how the Soupfest started, and what they're planning on for this upcoming year.
So yeah, well, first off, I guess to start this, I gotta thank you guys. You were the first people to ever ask me to do any type of appearance from Buffalo Eats. So when I judged the Soupfest 2 years ago, or almost 3 years ago now, it was like the first thing I ever did where somebody asked me on behalf of Buffalo Eats, like, first of all, it was like a celebrity thing, which I was like, my family was like, look at you being a celebrity.
I was like, because I was like ground floor Twitter guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I found out about you.
Yeah.
I guess it must have been it.
Yeah, Twitter was our big thing.
Yeah.
Because we got in early, and so when people would join Twitter, they would just type Buffalo.
Yeah.
And it would be like Buffalo Bills, Buffalo News, Buffalo Rising, Buffalo Eats.
Yeah.
So like...
That's why I changed my name to Buffalucci. So like, I want to show up in that. That's why I have 1,000 followers. Nobody even knows me. They just think I have something. I just know something about Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, you're another Buffalo guy. I gotta follow you.
Yeah.
What you do?
But yeah, I was like, I wanted some foodies, and I wanted it to be kind of like a young hip thing. I didn't want it to be, God, I love Janice Oken, she's a sweetheart, but I didn't want it to be. I wanted it to be sort of this young thing, because when people think soup, they think, are we on the
Yeah, we're
going. All right, just making sure. Not because this is about to be some good stuff here.
Yeah.
No, I didn't, just because it's soup, I didn't want people thinking like chicken soup and stock pot and grandma. So I thought it would be kind of fun to sort of take like an old. Something that people think is kind of old school and sort of make it sort of trendy and fun. And when you see like the soups that these people bring out, I mean, it's ridiculous how they've made it like this sort of culinary or culinary, actually, I guess it's pronounced.
Culinary?
Yeah. If you go online and try to look up the pronunciation, it's culinary.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, they sort of get really creative, and that's kind of the trend, I think, across the country, but especially in Buffalo. Because it's not just a pizza and wings town anymore.
No, not at all. I mean, that's kind of a recurring theme of our podcast is everybody we have in chefs and buddy. Like the last 3 years, like the food scene is completely different than what it was. Like we're getting more recognition for fine dining and creative dining and things like that. But
that's why you are a celebrity now, Tanya. I look where to go for some of these places because of all your stuff that you put on social media. Too. We're always following each other. What new food, what new restaurants. We're Savvy Tongue. This is a great town with like great food, and that's where all this came from.
It's Yelp and it's Donnie's food porn.
Donnie's food
that's
porn.
That's how I decide what to do for dinner.
That's getting blocked on company websites.
Oh, okay. You remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. I've
one
had
day
issues
I was
with
like,
that.
I tried to bring up one of his food porn things, and it's my administrator thing. I'm like,
said you have to enter if you're 18 or above.
It just said unable to open website, pornography, category adult mature. I'm like, no, it's a picture on me.
Yeah, thanks to me, you're now flagged in HR.
Great.
But so as we're recording this right now, we're about a month away from the Soupfest.
Yeah.
How hectic is it for you guys right now, a month out? Is it one of those things where it gets really crazy right before, or is it?
At this point, it's just chasing people down. But no, actually, we started so early, and because of the success from year one that we've created, the majority of our vendors loved it. It was just a knockout of the park, and most of them have renewed their vendor. They get first option for refusal.
You don't have to reach out too much to get.
And it's never like it's a boring thing either. Even if we bring back the same vendor year after year, they want different recipes and different creations. And I mean, every one of these chefs just can't decide. They're only bringing 2 or 3 soups. They're like, how many can we bring? We're like, well, you want to keep it simple. You can do as many as you want, but like, do you want to do 10 different soups? But like every year, give new challenges and. So like, and then, we want to spread it out. We like to keep it all over Buffalo too, so.
Are you checking in?
Yeah.
I'm taking pictures of myself.
But no, that's cool. I just didn't know, is the planning literally start after the first one ends, or do you guys give yourself a little bit of a break?
We always
hey man, should we start this thing?
We intend, me and Keith might start fighting. We intend for it to be that way. We always say, as soon as this one's over, we're going to write down a list of what went right and what went wrong, but I have a 9 to 5 and a wife and 2 kids, and it's like wife, 2 kids, pretty equal, and then like video games and
of course.
and football, and then like my job.
And you guys do other events too.
Girlfriend, same thing, 2.5-year-old, and trying to do now 6 different events in a year, which usually should be about a 6-month planning period for each one, but now it's like, running around like crazy. But it's great because I know a lot of the restaurant owners now, and they're fun. They're like you, the same thing, Donnie. You walk in, you're a friend. It's like we always wanted to be Norm on Cheers. You walk in, hey, Donnie, hey.
And I'm jealous of that because like we walk in the day of Soupfest, and everybody comes up to Keith like, Keith, oh, it's great to see you. And I'm like, hey, I'm Matt with Soupfest. They're like, who the hell are you? And I'm like, I wrote the check. They're like, well, Keith, what's going on?
Keith, come on into the restaurant. We'll prep you up something good.
But to actually answer the question, we plan to take a little time off.
Yeah.
And then a little time off becomes like, a lot of time off, and then summer comes around, and then Keith's got his other events that he does.
Yeah.
I'm basically, we've done a couple other things together, but I'm basically the Soupfest guy.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm not the Soupfest guy, but I do the Soupfest, and that's it.
Yeah.
I've helped with some other events, and you know which ones they are.
Yeah.
And
I see you around.
Yeah. I get around. Not as much as I used to.
Hey-o.
Ew. No, your mother gets around.
Margaret, you're not listening.
Yeah, she will be. Anyway, but so then late summer comes around, and they're like, okay, we're about 4 or 5 months away. And then we start, just calling up the restaurants, like he said, and Keith goes from place to place and says, "Are you in?" They're like, "Yep." And then we just start signing them up. I'm trying to get some new places in, and but we really start going to town probably October.
Okay.
And then we're thinking about it all year long.
Yeah. What really implants is when we start hearing the football draft, because we always know, like, and that's the unusual aspect this year is we like to coin the last weekend in January, and that's when which was our success because it's the bye week right before the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and no pun intended again, but like this year because we made Maddie's always booked at the Millennium right after him because of parking and other things, and we said, oh, let's give it a shot and a different arena, and that was the only date available, so like we said.
We moved up almost the whole month.
Yeah.
Which, this point last year, we're like, oh, we got plenty of time. This point this year, I said to somebody today, I said, so, Soupfest is January 6th. They're like, holy... I'm sure I could probably swear, but I won't. But yeah, it's, now it's a month out, and it's like you can't really do much until... Like, I don't own the building it happens in, so I can't really do much until like the night before or the day before.
Yeah.
We start setting everything up, and a guy rolls in there with. People don't realize. There is a lot of work that goes into. The pipe and drape in the back, just all the booths are separated. Yeah. There is miles of cable that runs because every one of these restaurants. They bring their friggin' restaurant. They bring like an electric steam table that runs like on a 220 line. Yeah, it's like they got like a dishwasher, and it's like they bring this stuff. We say, just bring like a sterno and a ladle, and they come in with like this. They like pack like looks like a cafeteria. They put in there. Like,
were you there last year, Donnie?
Oh yeah.
Were you there for the first hour of play when everything was just complete bedlam? It was just.
I missed that.
It's because everybody plugged in all their stuff at once, and all of a sudden the generator trip. It's like because every one of you just plugged in your flux capacitor.
Any event planner will tell you the same thing. It's like. Things are running smooth, like it was, right? Up until
everything was perfect.
Proper, we got an 80,000 kilowatt generator that can like run Rich Stadium and everything, and then it's like running about 80 amps per booth, and they were coming in with 7 or 8 like turkey roasting pans, and like just everyone overshot the power, and then it was like
it wasn't
then everyone
close.
Took out of there, and they're all plugging in the walls, and they're blowing the Millennium out.
And I'm just lucky that I have some friends at some different places. The guy from Hale Northeastern, I got his name written down because I actually tried to block it out because it was just such a traumatic experience. This guy was a star. He called everybody he knew in town, and I knew a guy from Admar. Okay. And I called him up. I'm like, dude, I need a generator. I need another generator like soon. He's like, it's Sunday. It's the middle of winter. What do you expect? And like literally, an hour and a half later, the guy showed up with like a 70,000 kilowatt generator. Wow. And it's like everything was just like perfect. After
we paid for it, but it was.
Dude, you don't even want to know how much it costs to get a 70,000 kilowatt generator in an hour on a Sunday in Buffalo in January.
I don't.
So needless to say, in the first hour or two, everyone was like, "We're not up to temp again. We're not up to temp." Like everything was like, we had the stoves in the back and they were good and everything was fine, but the
health
breakers kept
listening.
blowing. That guy, yes, who we love so much, and that was the best quote of the day was when he goes, after rerunning all the lines again and again and again, and he looks and he goes, "If my wife has soup on the table when I get home tonight," he goes, "I might be getting a call for domestic violence." He goes, "I am seriously going to slap her across the face." He goes, "I never want to see soup again."
And we always say, like,
he was a champ. Though.
For people that do like food events, the best feeling in the world was after that the health department inspector gets to that last booth. He says, "Okay, everybody's good to go. You can serve."
Oh man!
And that's just like, all right, good. So then I sit down and I have a cup of coffee, and of course 30 seconds later there's something else breaking or whatever. And
it's always kind of controlled chaos. That's kind of the thing about events like that.
But I mean, there's nothing like a festival.
Yeah.
There's just nothing.
Well,
like
I mean, you guys are both pretty seasoned pros when it comes to events and festivals. So
Maddie, when I first started working there, I did events, but then I realized what an all-star this guy is. And like the 24 hours before, when he's like, "Oh no, we had to set up the pipe and drape," and he's sitting there. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're pulling an all-nighter. We got through the crew. We got some beers. We got a pizza. We're good to go." And in the morning, still like Red Bull and coffee. And going on a 48-hour stretch without sleeping.
I have some really good friends that stay overnight with me in the hotel. Wow. Shout out to Rich Robbins, Canisius Crusaders head coach. He was one of those guys last year that stayed overnight with me in the hotel. Set up 50 vendor booths throughout the entire hotel. We went to bed at like 6, and I was up by 7:05. So it was. It's crazy. I think this year we're paying somebody to do that for us.
Nice.
Yeah. I think. Maybe. I don't know.
No,
we'll see. I'll be sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
Hey, we might have the day before. That'd be nice. Usually we got to pull a shotgun approach overnight. So that would be nice.
So this is the third one, correct?
It's the third one, yeah.
So how did the first one come to be? Matt. How did that happen?
It was I had done the Wing Fest with Drew.
Mm-hmm.
For 4 years, and I started out helping coordinate volunteers when I was with the B team. That's a whole nother podcast all on itself. And then so I had some experience doing these festivals, and Drew's story is great. Drew he tells this story.
He was here for episode 33. Yeah,
he basically took out a second mortgage.
Yeah,
and I won't say how much. I don't know if he told, but a lot. He took out a lot of money.
Yeah,
and bought a ton of turkey fryers, like the ones that you put in the ones you blow your house up with, those. And he just started with that, and I heard his story, and I worked with them for a few years, and Drew and I are good friends, and I was sitting around the dinner table with my wife. We had just gotten some takeout soup from the coffee culture.
Okay.
Their roasted red pepper Gouda. I'll never forget it. That's the soup that started it all.
They should have that advertised. Though.
Yeah. They should actually.
We'll get to, and that's actually a strong point that why we actually don't like to take in corporate chains. We're all about the independent local guys, but coffee culture because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're they feel honored to be a part of that.
So sitting there with my wife, and I'm eating the soup, which is I think really good. I mean, I'm not a connoisseur. I just know what I like, and it was delicious soup. And my wife just looks at me. She's like, "We should start a soup festival." She's like, "Why isn't there one?" And I just said, "Well, there's going to be now." Mm-hmm. And I knew of you through a mutual friend, Tracy. Mm-hmm. And she said, "You got to talk to Keith." And this was 2010, 2009, whatever.
It was 10.
So it was December, and I wanted to do this event in January. So the first thing I did was call out the Super Bowl, and I called Keith, and we sat down. He was like, "I don't know if we can make this happen this fast." And got a guy to design a logo and stuff like that, and put up a website and everything. And let's just say I got a letter in the mail from somebody that said that's probably not a good idea to call an event the Super Bowl. without getting into too much detail, it was very strongly written letter, and so we didn't call it Super Bowl, and we decided not to have it that first year, which was great because we only had a few vendors that were interested at that point.
Yeah.
So we spent the entire next year working with Keith and the Millennium Hotel, which I used to work at.
Oh, okay.
That was the first choice for venue because I figured if I'm gonna get a deal anywhere, I'm gonna get a deal where I used to work. And that's kind of how it was born, over just a cup of soup with me and my wife at my kitchen table.
That's crazy.
We thought, hey, if Drew can do it, we can do it. Mm-hmm. Of course, we didn't mortgage our house, so we started with an austerity budget, and I think the first year went pretty well.
I'm glad we did it right. Like that's because when he said that, and I was like, this is an awesome concept. I said, I've thought about it. I love doing the food festivals, and I said, Maddie, this could be a knock out of the park, but that's why we were looking at the time frame, and I go, we could make it happen, but it would have been one of those things, probably well attended, but nothing like when we actually took the time, and that's why we knew year one was going to be good, but when we saw, what was it, 11 a.m.?
It was 11
a.m. The line was going down the hallway, out the doors, and all of a sudden it was elbow to elbow jam packed for 6 hours.
Yeah,
you were there.
I was there, because I was
at noon. You couldn't move.
Yeah,
and I was really excited. And then I'm like, oh my god, these people can't move. What are we going to do?
Who was the guy freaking out? He's like, I think they're going to call the fire department,
fire marshal.
Yeah, I got people coming. We're more worried. We were worried about lawsuits because everyone's like, a couple of our friends came up and they were our friends. They're like, Keith, do you got insurance here? They're like, everyone's bumping into each other with hot soup.
They got 175
and he shows me his wrist, and he's got this little red burn, and I'll give him a shout out. That was Rick from the Transit Drive-In, the owner of Transit Drive-In. He goes, and he came up, and I was like, oh my god, it was a huge success.
Yeah, well, because that was the first video I shot with Buffalo.com. We shot it at the Soup Fest, and they followed me around as I was eating all this soup.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I got there, and SJ was there, and we were looking at each other like, this is a lot bigger than we thought. Like, we thought it was going to be a cool event, but, we got there and we're, squeezing through.
I think SJ, texted me or emailed me or called me or something when she was there.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm here. I'm like, I don't know if I can get to you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to you.
Put it this way, Donnie. Maddie was very grateful you made that video because I think he was in Restaurant Depot the entire event. Put it that way.
Seriously, we estimated I spent, $700 to start off on, soup cups and spoons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In an hour and a half, every piece of styrofoam and paper and plastic we bought was gone. I mean, gone.
In an hour and a half.
And from Restaurant
Depot. So what, there's
another
6 hours or something?
Yeah, we went from 11 to 7, right? And so I went to Restaurant Depot 4 times that day. Restaurant Depot literally, I think I spent $2,500.
You cleaned them out. The last cups they brought were like Petri dishes.
At the end of the day,
they were so low, shallow,
At the end of the day, we had to switch to a 2-ounce cup or something like that. It was like shot glasses because we cleared out everything Restaurant Depot had.
Wow.
Yeah. They were very nice at Restaurant Depot because I didn't have a membership at the time. So I kept coming in. They're like, if you're just going to keep coming in, you should sign up for membership. I'm like, I have no time. Get me everything you have that's styrofoam that holds liquid. And we did. And I still have some spoons left over from that first year.
Are they sentimental?
Yeah, they're in my basement, and I keep walking past them, and I'm like, I gotta keep them. I don't know why. They're just sitting there.
Put them in some type of frame or something like that.
Yeah, maybe we'll give them away as
we'll just spray paint them gold and make some cheap trophies.
That's
this
not
year.
a bad idea. It's a good idea.
Watching the process work right here.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. We're brainstorming as we speak.
Exactly. Great, good ideas. Now I know you got those.
So when as this event's getting going, the first one, and you're do you just go into fight or flight mode at that point? Are you just going off of instincts and running around?
Yeah, I mean, I did the year before that. I did the it was right before that. Whatever. I did the Buffalo Powder Keg Festival.
Yeah, that's right around there.
And I remember that I was the diesel generators were breaking down and whatever, and I'm thinking if I don't fix this thing, nobody's going to be warm. So basically, this Soup Fest was the same kind of idea. I'm thinking if I just scream and walk out the back door, I'm going to be on the front page of the Buffalo News as the jerk that left everybody without soup.
Yeah.
Like we tell anybody in any event business, and everyone knows, make plans, watch God laugh. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
You don't plan, you improvise, and something will always go wrong.
Yeah.
And it always does.
And we set up fail safe after fail safe after fail safe on top of fail safe to make sure that nothing really goes wrong. But there's always an issue. There's always, we run out of something or somebody needs something or whatever, and there's always something. It's hard because there's me and there's Keith that have like a knowledge of the event, of everything that has to happen, the schedule from the beginning to end.
Yeah.
So we can't always delegate out things that need to get done. Like a restaurant has a question about whatever.
Yeah.
Electricity. Like I can't just like grab one of my volunteers or one of my friends and say, hey, go figure that out.
Yeah.
Because me and Keith have direct knowledge of what has to happen.
Yeah.
People want to know about the schedule, whatever. So one thing that we're getting better with, at least I know I am, is sharing information with people that are helping us to try to make it easier on us. Because when we try to do everything ourselves, it's like, I mean, I went through 3 shirts that first year.
Yeah, you're right. If literally you put like the tachometer thing for like how many miles?
Oh, yeah.
You're probably like 40, 50 miles. Like you're shooting the kitchen back, kitchen front. Okay, drop right here.
Yeah.
But like we gotta let him in the kitchen this year because we don't have
you should check
the Millennium Chef.
But
like, you want to see an episode of Top Chef? Go back there when you got 40 of Buffalo's best chefs fighting over burners and everything. Technically, we want to get some referee jerseys, but they've all worked well together.
That first year, the restaurants, I mean, the Millennium had a banquet kitchen and a regular kitchen. And we worked out a deal with the Millennium saying these restaurants are going to set up here and they're going to heat their soup up to temp so it's hot enough and they're going to put in their things. Well, at one point, it was full-scale kitchen warfare in there. Because we fixed this now, but the first year we didn't realize how they were going to get because they're all fighting over 3 burners, and they're all fighting over the flat top, and they're filling hotel pans with
we had the pizza
soup
ovens.
and put them in the pizza
ovens and Alto Shams,
and they're doing whatever they can to just get stuff hot. And we're back in there, and like the chefs were getting ready to like sword fight with ladles, and it was just like.
Well, I mean, chefs' personalities to begin with can be a
little. They say too many chefs spoil the soup. It's exactly perfect there. I mean, that's exactly how it is.
It was, and we were promised a lot more room, but again, we tell everyone, hey, you know what? Move-in time is from 7 to 11.
Yeah.
Everybody
make sure
comes at 7:15.
and they're supposed to bring their soups warm. Travel like hot already because if you're trying to heat a 5-gallon chili from scratch, it's gonna take you 45 minutes without burning it. So like. They bring them all, transport them from all over Western New York, hot, as best they can. But again, with the kitchen,
I know.
We tell them 7 a.m. Everyone wants to show up an hour before the event, so like that's what happens.
I was sleeping in the hotel, and I had just gone to sleep. Like it was like 6:45, and my cell phone started ringing, and it was the guy setting up the electric, and he calls me. He's like, you got restaurants here wanting to set up. And I'm like, it's not even time for breakfast yet. What are they doing? And they had their banners and stuff ready to go by like 8:30.
Wow.
9 o'clock, they were already like cooking. I mean, it was like ridiculous.
Yeah, and last year was, if you remember when you were there too, how mild the Buffalo winter was, and the one day the Soup Fest fell on, I left my house at 6 a.m. in like North Tonawanda, and I couldn't see a foot in front of me. It was a whiteout last year.
I didn't know I never left the building.
Yeah, it was a complete whiteout, and then it hammered Cheektowaga at about 5, which is why we died a little bit earlier. But we still had about 9,000 people in a whiteout. That's how much people loved the event. And we're like, figures. This would be the one day.
It's a flow. I mean, it's the people get there at 11 and they stay till 1, and then people get there at noon and they stay till 2, and it's just. No, there's never a time where there was like in the afternoon, like dinner time maybe, where people just kind of cleared out. But it stayed busy all day.
That's awesome. And so the big step from year 1 to year 2. You guys opened up the other section of the hotel.
Right. We just didn't have
we needed
space.
I call it like the tropical
the atrium.
Oasis.
Yes. The tropical courtyard.
Yes.
The Copacabana.
And so did you guys up... So that I'm assuming you upped the number of restaurants that year that were attending?
Yeah, which looking back on it probably wasn't the best idea in the world. Because we didn't have enough space in the first room, so we got a second room and added more stuff. Yeah. So we still were full in the first room, and then we were full in the second room.
Yeah.
But... so we just upped the number because we had more space, and the more restaurants had the opportunity to be there, And we gear this for the restaurants. We want the restaurants to make money. We want them to advertise.
Yeah,
we want
this is
them
a big
to
advertising, just like
themselves.
Taste of Buffalo is, or any
exactly.
of those other events.
And so we wanted more restaurants there, and not that it was a bad idea, but it was a bad idea. It was so packed, and we couldn't believe that it still was like, we have a whole other room, and yet everybody's shoulder to shoulder in both rooms.
Yeah.
How the heck did this happen? So the second year, I don't even know how many people we had the second year.
I don't either. That was the thing. They were coming from all different angles.
I say 7,500 is probably like 9,000.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I mean, you kind of that year too. You kind of diversified. So there's a couple food trucks that were there.
Yeah.
And a lot of like new restaurants. Like I remember Lager House. Like that place was crazy.
Yep, they're making it,
they got a lot of recognition just from. I remember there was a Buffalo News article. Yeah, that African peanut soup.
African peanut soup was delicious.
It was insane. They got some new tricks up their sleeve now too.
They got a whole new operation going on over there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good people and. They're on board again, and that was... But that's also another reason when we expanded into the atrium, and again, that presented the generator guy who said, everything was going to be okay. He said, we got to run a line this way, then this way, and to get in there, and like...
Taking one generator and splitting it into 2 rooms over 12,000 square feet of space, people don't do that for free.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't get the homie hookup on that one. It was like the Pentagon, the way these wires were set up. It was just everywhere. It was ridiculous, and... The guy's like, do you understand what I'm doing here? I'm like, yes. He's like, no. You don't understand what I'm doing here. And I'm like, no, I get it. He's like, no. I'm like, all right, okay. You're an expert. He's like, I've been doing this for 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently the guy's from the South.
Yes.
Either that or in my head he was.
He went into his gold rush accent.
Every electrician is from, Texas. Apparently. And he's like, I ain't never seen nothing like this. He's like, this shit's crazy. And I'm like, all right, well, just make it work. He's
please make it work and don't burn anything down.
Please don't. Yeah, he's like, no, it's safe. It's fine. But this shit's crazy. I'm like, all right, thanks.
To state the obvious, we still don't have power yet. Thanks. Thanks.
He's like, he's like, oh, by the way, you can pay me with cash. I'm like, all right, fine.
So did you have to do? So was the chaos somewhat less the second year? Like, were there, or was it just a whole different?
We just created new chaos.
Yeah.
New chaos. Well, we thought we were getting more organized too, because year one we actually didn't have the nice brochure, and
right.
Second year we had a nice trifold so you could plan your eating, name a restaurant, what type of soup, and then with the voting sheet, which was really cool because year one, like, you couldn't even move, like we said. It was just so jam-packed. People just got soup where they got soup. They didn't even plan their
wherever
eating.
They could find a path. They're like, all right, I'll have the peanut and water soup.
Yeah.
This is fine, whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't even get to make in their corner, maybe try their favorites. Some people
get
might
to the
have
drinking fountain. They're like, all right, it's good, I'm going. But now it's, we have a lot of space, and we're kind of keeping it around the perimeter this year now, and it's going to be...
Well, let's talk about the new venue that you guys are at. So
more seating, too.
And seating.
Seating.
It's a big thing. People like to sit while they eat.
Oh, we got some tricks up our sleeve this year.
Yeah, so where is it this year? It's going to be at the...
Heartstone Manor. Heartstone Manor, right there on Dick Road in Depew.
Nice.
They got the nice new LED sign and a lot more parking, rear parking, front parking. We don't have to worry about hotel business, and that was always
in the mall, kind of like was rough.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that. We felt horrible year one and year two. It was freezing cold because, of course, it's Buffalo at the end of January. When Maddie and I were putting up the Soupfest signs, that I have a picture. He looked like he was on the top of the Swiss Alps, putting on top of a giant snow mound the one year. But then, sadly, the day of, and we see these little kids in snowsuits and families climbing over snow hills from the Galleria, like they were invading, like some little small village.
My dad did park at the Kmart across the street and had to cross walls.
There's another one playing Frogger.
I remember Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell was a judge.
Yes.
I just remember Kevin O'Connell. I was making one of my 400 runs to the restaurant depot, and I left, and Kevin O'Connell was circling the parking lot, looking for a parking spot. And Kevin O'Connell is a very healthy guy.
Yes,
but he shouldn't have to walk very far to get to a venue. It's just not right. And he's a respected guy in the community.
Yeah.
So I left, and he was circling the parking lot. I came back 20 minutes later. He was still circling the parking lot, trying to find a place to park. And that's when I decided, oh my god, we got to find some place to park.
And we had done that last year. We actually had a shuttle service running back and forth
I saw that,
from across the street, and those people were nice enough to allow that to happen. And then, now this year.
But Hearthstone's got 400 parking spots.
Yeah. Nice.
And the lot is dedicated to the event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's, it's
a lot of parking.
Yeah, there's not an issue.
Yeah.
And there's like a grass lot, even like for overflow.
Mm-hmm.
Which they said they're going to plow up.
Which they'll plow out if they need to.
Nice.
If it's like last winter, then they're probably,
So did you guys just think like we needed to move? Like, it was just a thing where
one of the tricks is definitely because of how many, like, how diverse, like, we like to keep, like, people from, we have restaurants from Grand Island, Hamburg,
it's a pretty good
we like to spread
area.
it into demographics. We try not to, we're just going to do the Elmwood Strip, because then it would be like, the Elmwood Soupfest.
Yeah, and if somebody lives in Elmwood, they'll be like, oh, that's cool, I've been to every one of those places.
So we like to keep a place that's like a central hub, and Cheektowaga is kind of like the epicenter of Buffalo, and, the Millennium was always, you got your throughway exits right there. Yeah. Same thing now with the Hearthstone, it's right there, the 33. We found out that 14, Maddie goes, we need somewhere at least, we were thinking about a new venue, goes, at least 8,000 square feet or something, and Hearthstone was 14,000 square feet.
Jeez.
We both didn't know. We're like, God, it really is that big.
Yeah, I just looked at it, like, I've been doing banquets for, like, my entire life, and I looked at it, and I said, for this to make sense, we need, like, 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And Hearthstone was just like, it's just like perfect. Like Keith said before, we couldn't get the date we wanted because we want to keep it in that last weekend, January. But we're testing it out this year. We're going, I don't want to keep it this first week because we got New Year's Eve, we got Christmas, then we got New Year's, and then boom, Soupfest.
Yeah.
But it's it's a fun, cheap thing to do. So hopefully people.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Keith before, like, you guys have built like the Soupfest name. I think like people are going to search it out regardless.
Yeah.
There's going to be a group of people who are going to go wherever it is, whenever it is.
Exactly. I don't think anybody's going to be like, oh, it's not the last week in January. This is crap.
Yeah.
But because it's during football season, and you want
that's what I was going to say. Because the Hearthstone, they've got a King's Room, which is, I don't know how many square feet, because I won't even try to fib that. But in a Queen's Room, the Queen's Room is going to be like strictly like for kids and kids activities. We got some things going on there. But the King's Room is going to be, it's a giant room, which we've kind of created this, playoff action man cave going on there. Needless to say, people yesterday were saying that the Bills are making their stretch here for the playoffs, but they're delusional. But Bills,
anyway,
people, it's all going to have theater style seating. Verizon Vios is actually our huge sponsor with the King's Room.
Oh, nice.
It's the Verizon Vios kind of man cave area we're calling it. But
very cool.
Where they're going to have a bunch of TVs. With
So that'll be. Is that the last week of the season, probably? Or?
No, it's going to be like third week, so it's still playoffs.
Okay.
I think it's the last week of the regular season right before the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs 2 weeks after that.
So it could be the game that decides if the Bills go to the playoffs or not.
Yeah, it could be. Okay. That game was in Indianapolis, but that's similar.
But no, that's really cool.
It's gonna be theater style seating for like most of the guys. The people just want to sit in there, slurp their soup, and watch the football. Because like we said, we're used to doing it on the bye week before the Super Bowl, so we do have that, and then we also scaled back. Instead of taking 40 some odd, we're going to stick to strictly 30 restaurants. And then we've got a lot of other specialty vendors from the middle and our great sponsors, again, that we're very appreciative of. Univera Healthcare has, been on board now, and they love this event. Wester, Latina Foods.
Univera Healthcare, funny story, last year they brought...
Yeah, this is the
They
best.
brought these little... they didn't know what the deal was. They weren't sure. They brought these really awesome, like way too nice for our event. Not that our event's not nice, but they brought these soup thermoses. Did you see them?
No,
Did you see the green? Oh,
it was a green
containers?
soup. It was a container with a bowl in it.
Wow.
And then it was like a little pull-out bowl inside of it, and then the top you flipped it up, and there was a spoon in the top of it.
Come on.
So it was like this to-go really nice soup thing. It was like a thermos. And they got, I don't know, they brought like
He'll tell you why you missed it, too.
They brought 300 of them or something. I don't know why they
got
brought.
God, they have more than that. That poor guy was running back to the room.
Did he get like Black Friday in there? And just people
seriously,
losing
it was like people were like doing Heisman like fate, like
kids are getting pushed over.
Well, no, the parents were like, hiding around the corner, sending their kids up, asking for other ones so they could get 4 for the family. You know, they were saying, "May we please have one of those?" Yes. Like Oliver Twist or something.
You just got one. No, I'm Guy Incognito. I do not have any soup. What?
Which is why they said this. It was great to us.
Univeer is being, they're being a little bit more cautious about because I mean those things are probably worth $5 a piece.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, maybe probably more, and they were logo. They're really nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I got one either, so if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah. They had the little cellophane or the plastic cutting board thing.
Yeah, they had cutting boards and they had like recipe things.
They really brought some swag.
Yeah, they spent some money, which is great.
Yeah.
But they're a great sponsor and they're coming back again this year and they're helping us out with a lot of stuff. So
you should talk about that because you guys were just talking about Twitter. That's the new. That's cool.
Univera is going to sponsor a Twitter wall, so we're going to have the Twitter wall. So we're going to encourage everybody to drop the hashtag SoupFest13.
Nice.
Eat and tweet.
In the eat and tweet room there.
Nice.
So
that's cool.
We're trying to engage the social media crowd.
Yeah, that's been growing.
Buzzwords.
Yeah, I mean, like I've gone to like a couple of the things at like the Museum of Science,
right.
They've been really about that too, having the whole projected wall and everything.
Everybody in Buffalo like loves like it's the whole thing when like the live video camera is like they're at like the scene of a homicide, but people have been in the background like trying to get on the camera.
Yeah,
so like it's the thing, and people want to they want to say Soupfest rocks and have it come up on the screen.
Yeah.
We will have somebody curating the
I was
going to
say, hopefully there's going to be some type of moderator or something.
Exactly. So we'll be moderating it, and
that's another one of those things where Maddie needs to educate the person in charge.
Well, I have a couple of people in mind for that. I had a great meeting today with the gentleman who curates the content. Curate. I used that word twice just now. For Yelp.
Okay.
You know Alex?
I do know Alex.
Yeah,
yes.
Alex is. They're going to come on board and
nice.
Hopefully help out with that. I might be speaking too soon, but I mean, come on, Alex. How can you say no to me? But so they're going to help out with that
cool.
social media kind of stuff too, because I had this plan of me sitting there in front of a laptop all day, just like getting rid of the F word, and I'm like, no, this is probably not a valuable use of my time.
Entertaining, but not.
Yeah, exactly. But the social media is going to be a big part of it, and
awesome.
We're going to start running some contests in the month coming up to it. So starting after the weekend here, and
cool.
a lot of fun stuff leading up to it. Some stuff that we still haven't even exactly decided yet.
Stuff that you don't even know
just so
yet.
you, Donnie, everyone wanted to be a food critic, and that's what the eat and tweet zone is now.
And that's what's different, because the taste of Buffalo, the Chicken Wing Fest, the different events. It's like you have a panel of like judges, like people like yourself and Krista Glennie Seichu and Alan Bedenko and Kevin Purdy.
Yes.
Look at me go!
It's getting there.
That are the only ones allowed to have a say. Well, the difference with Soupfest is everybody that tastes the soup that walks to the door that pays their admission has an ability to vote on whatever they think is the best.
Nice.
And if Lager House 95 wants to bring everybody in their family and have 300 people come and vote for them, then God bless them. But that's how it's going to work. And it's a legitimate vote. We're going to have a couple contests with celebrity voters, celebrities such as yourself.
I was just feeling he didn't even know what the secret ingredient was this year.
I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to ruin the surprise.
Do you want to say it, or
do you want to tell them what the secret ingredient is going to be?
Well, he told me, but I didn't know if you want to share with the audience.
Is there a secret ingredient? Is it a secret to me?
Oh no, the second one. Oh, well, we're splitting. There's going to be two. He knows one.
The first one's this, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the first one's beer.
We're thankful Serto Brothers and Southern Tier Brewery is teamed up to be our one secret ingredient challenge, where we're taking half the restaurants that do have a beer and wine permit, to create an awesome recipe using one of the Southern Tier beers, which we said,
which are fantastic beers.
Awesome.
My fridge is full of
Finomats
and the IPA.
Nice.
IPA, the 2X they got, all that good stuff. Some of the winter ones. So depending on what's in season and what they have available, but. Half the cooks, like their brain literally, I could watch when I told them, like literally twisted, and I think I saw like an eye twitch, and they're like, "Oh my god, I had like six recipes just popped in my head right now," and
that's awesome.
And we do have another challenge too for the other half, but I believe you'll probably, as a connoisseur of beer, be slipping into the beer judging category.
I will gladly take that challenge.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you guys go to restaurants now, like, do you actually look at soup more than you previously did?
Always.
Is it something totally now that you go there and you actually go out of your way to see what they have?
Yeah, I totally do, and I've been eating. I've been lucky enough to have a job where I can do lunches and sales calls and sales lunches and stuff like that. And I've been sitting down with people and having lunches the last couple of weeks, and I've been eating soup every day. And I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is good. I like the base, and I like this. And the person's like, don't you want to talk to me about your job? I'm like, no, but you see this? How do they keep the beans so tender but yet so crisp? And but I'm totally into soup now. Yeah. And I wasn't when I first started the event. It just seemed like a good idea.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure the pet rock guy really didn't care about rocks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that relates.
It gets annoying when I dine out. Yeah, it is, and I love it. And I could just go on when all of a sudden I'm just having a normal clam chowder, and people don't. And I look to the people next to me. I'm like, God, you taste how tender these clams are. And they're like, so, and like, well, haven't you ever had clam chowder when it's like chewing on a rubber band? I'm like, how do they get these clams so tender and it's so perfect? And when I see something unusual, immediately I gotta have it.
Yeah,
I try the most crazy soups and like really sort of off the wall kind of things.
Yeah.
And like old school like recipes, like there's a Tuscan soup, and I just forgot the name of it, and it's making me mad now. But it's just had it the other day actually at Joe's Deli. It's like a minestrone soup with like bread in it.
Okay.
And it's making me mad that I can't remember what it's called.
Kind of like a matzo ball, but not.
Yeah, but it's like stuff like that, like interesting soups. I just wanted to have them all, and just so I can put it in my on my resume.
Yeah.
I've tried this, I've tried that. So
that's it too. Like, I mean, Joe's Deli, you just mentioned, they did it fantastic with the food challenge last year, but
they were awesome.
They have a sweet and sour cabbage soup. I hate cabbage. I'm not a cabbage fan at all.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of that soup. The flavor is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just like
they knock it out. They knock it out there. Yeah.
You can make stuff taste like other stuff if you put enough stuff in it.
There we go.
That's
all Buffalo Eats.
That's what they teach you in culinary school.
Yeah,
that's it.
Soup is always the leftovers. I mean, that's what it's been, and you can go down. I know from running a diner, that I used to do, and same thing. Anything that was left over, and just get more and more creative and make it cool. I mean, so it's I don't know. We love the event. So do the people. I mean, just you see everyone in Buffalo, like we said, a Buffalo summer. There's about 30 events every weekend.
Yeah,
we have a 4-month summer. Technically, we're.
Yeah. I mean, we get crazy just trying to keep up with all the food stuff going on. Every weekend there's some town that has something going on.
Yeah, I mean, and January, February in Buffalo is just long, cold, depressing. They say that, and it's just because we anticipate a spring. We just want good weather, and
and we just want people to come out and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to come out and eat some soup and see some cool restaurants and just have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not overpricing either. That's a rare complaint. We've never had anybody really, complaining about the portion size and the price.
No, I think you guys.
We charge what we have to do to make the event happen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not that crazy at all.
Yeah. When all is said and done, we think that we have. I mean, it would be great if we had 100,000 people come, and maybe someday we will. Maybe someday we'll have to,
get HSBC Arena. Or
take out the arena. Yeah, exactly. Wheels are turning. But really, my dad's calling me. I should have answered it and said, "Hey, Dad, I'm on a podcast. Can I call you right back?" The idea is, to expand, but we never want to make it something that you can't afford. To do, because we want the idea is to make the restaurants accessible to people.
Yeah,
that's it, and we do it through soup. Because you can see, I mean, a restaurant, if they're creative, they're going to be creative through soup.
Yeah.
If they have chicken noodle as the soup of the day, I can't imagine the rest of the menu is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, I believe that.
Unless it's like some sort of super chicken.
And that's how we started out in year one too. Even some of our categories, we had like a minestrone category. We had a best noodle.
Yeah.
And then we realized after year 1, 2 that like year 2 just went just like shifted.
Yeah, nobody wanted to
sweet
make
potato
soup.
Curry, fried alligator gumbo. I mean,
that was good.
Yeah, that was the guys that.
You don't see. I mean,
JJ Rigger is. He's incredibly creative.
Yeah,
that's a chef.
Him and Kevin now with their new. Like Torches is not going to be there this year, but they are opening up a new place called Garage. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Breaking news.
Yes,
breaking news.
I'm not supposed to. I wouldn't have said that if it wasn't on Lindsay's Facebook status just a little bit ago. But
that's how we do editing.
Right next door to Torches, they're kind of like a deli now that they're doing. But Smoke on the Water was just. They've had a great season.
Is it right next door to Torches? Like actually in that garage? It's attached to Torches. Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this.
So. very creative. And that's what we right away we're like we want creative chefs on board. Too, just something that's just gonna blow your mind for soup. You're like, really? You can make a soup out of that? And some get creative with garnishes and stuff too. But we're using a little 4-ounce plastic or styrofoam cup. But
got a couple of food trucks in. At least one for sure.
Awesome.
And then one
R&R was definitely in.
Renee's in. Yeah, I love Renee.
She was down here for a podcast.
Yeah,
1 week her opening. She said.
Yeah, her restaurant.
Yeah. We'll have to go on out.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a crush on Renee.
You heard it first.
You do love her barbecue.
I do. I was the mayor of R&R Barbecue on the Foursquare for a while, but people apparently had a problem with that, so I.
Yeah. Anyway. So food trucks are great, though. They've taken over Buffalo in the last few years, and fantastic food.
Yeah, there's 11 of them, and I think I counted 4 more that are coming next year.
Did you go to that food truck rodeo there?
I did. Yeah, it's freezing cold, but it was fun.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So this is going to go up on the 1st. So your event is 5 days away, right? Mm-hmm. Correct? It's on the 6th. Just for people who are listening?
Yes, the 6th.
Yeah. Because today's not the 1st. You blew my mind just now. I'm like,
we're like,
what? My event's 5 days away. Yes, my event's 5 days away.
Oh, today's December 3rd. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So, anyway, sorry to
we're about a month out.
We're sorry to give you a heart attack.
I just peed. Just a little bit. Sorry.
I really have to go, and I've been waiting.
This is microfiber,
remember
right?
I told you I can only go 3 miles,
So it's in 5 days from today when we're going.
Right.
Entry is $5.
Yeah, $5 to get in the door.
Yep. Okay, and then tickets for the soup, obviously.
Tickets are $1 a piece, and tastes are usually 2 tickets.
Yeah.
3, maybe.
It's a really good, I can vouch that it's a really good sample size for what you're paying, for sure.
Yeah.
And at the Heartstone Manor.
Heartstone Manor.
From
11 to 7.
Yeah, 11 to 7.
11. It's 11 to 7 but by 6 o'clock, people are like, oh,
because we do the awards in the last hour.
That's enough soup. The last hour is for the restaurants to collect their hardware and
maybe try everybody else's soup.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really want to get in there and just try the stuff and maybe get it for
have the whole place to myself.
Yeah, get in there, come in there between 6 and 7, you'll have some fun.
But outside of that, we also got to give mention to. I mean, besides, it's a great family event, like we say, and we have kids characters. We got Mr. No, we got a lot of people that making it family friendly and fun and. Besides just the great soups and the restaurants.
Mr. No, by the way, not to be confused with Dr. No.
Yeah, not Dr. No.
Mr. No is a balloon guy. Dr. No is a Bond villain.
All right.
But
sure
we also have a couple official dessert stands that we like to put in there because everyone gets Sweet Tooth and a lot of other specialty trade booth sponsors and things like that. So they've everyone that comes West Turn, like we said, Univera. I mean, there's some giveaways and prize wheels and fun stuff for people to win when they ask, well, what else you get with your admission?
Yeah, we'll do.
And we donate $1 to charity of choice too.
Cool.
Live entertainment. And,
it's a fun time.
Music
I
and
highly
dancing
recommend
and
it.
romancing.
It's just a party and just hanging out. With soup.
Well,
that's soup.
Well,
soup.
Guys,
it's going to be super.
Super duper. Guys, gang.
Guys, thank you so much for coming down here and talking about the event. And thank you for asking me to, participate as much as I can.
BuffaloSoupfest.com.
BuffaloSoupfest.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, thank you. And I'm looking forward to the event, and I hope it goes off very well. So
awesome.
This is a thumbs
up. Thanks, Danny. We look forward to your judging once again.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for asking.
Yes.